All right, everyone. Um, Tonight we will be checking out an artist called Churches. Um, for all you fellow alphas out there, I hope that you're watching this as well because I feel like there's a lot to learn and be able to get out of this group, this band in particular. Churches is a group that I've listened to for many years, since the early 2010s. Their songs for me are very cathartic. So I feel like in my early from my early 20s onwards, I started questioning a lot of things. Like, my thoughts weren't just confined to what I was experiencing in the material world, per se. You know, I know this is gonna sound a little bit like up in the air for some of you. If you choose not to acknowledge this belief, that's your choice, that's your right. But this is an experience that a lot of people go through. I feel like it's deeply spiritual, it's very existential, and I think it's healthy to have these thoughts, right? You start questioning your environment, you start questioning your experiences, and you know, like the intentions and the motives of the people that you meet, the purpose of your life, where you're at, what you're doing, whether if you know, like, what is it all for? Like, is it right? You know, are you on the right track? Is it right? Is it wrong? Like, what's actually happening? And I feel like Churches encapsulates all these experiences really well in their lyrics, in their songwriting. So when I say songwriting, it's more than just the lyrics. It's also the way that they produce their tracks. There's a word for it. The way that they produce their tracks, right? There's a lot of thought put into what is called musical prosody, and it's really the alignment of the musical elements within each of their track, with the lyrical content to enhance the overall emotional and narrative impact of a song. So it really makes you feel, right? Their songs, through utilization of all these musical elements, really draw out like the really draw emotions in the listener. And I don't want to go into a deep dive right now because I feel like the intro is a little bit long already. So we will do that after we listen to the first track for tonight, called He Said, She Said. Just a little bit of background to the song. He Said, She Said is really about the imbalance, I guess, I feel like in its essence it's talking about, okay, let me just find a better way with someone who's actually like, yeah, writing about it. So it's really talking about like the relationship between men and women. Here it says it's a track that is anti-mansplaining. If you all know what that means, It's basically a guy, thinking that he knows everything and he's basically always right. And in the essence of it, like, he knows everything. I don't want to get too deep into this because I feel like when you listen to it, your interpretation of it will just naturally come through. So without further ado, let's get into Church's He Said, She Said. Such a fucking amazing song. Okay, let me move that up a bit. So I feel like this song is, in essence, to me, is talking about an abusive relationship, right? Like, the guy keeps telling her, like, don't do this, don't do that, you know, and it's so conflicting, you know. It's as though whatever she does, she can never be perfect, right? Let's look up the lyrics. All right, it's like he said. Hold on. He said, she said, Church's lyrics. It's like, you know, he said, you bore me to death. Like, I know you hurt me the first time. Like, who talks to someone like that? It's so It's so aggressive. It's so passive aggressive, and it's so disrespectful. And then he asks her to be sad, but don't be depressed. Like, what the fuck? And then asked her to just think it over and over. And then he said, it's all in your head, you know, but keep an ear to the grapevine. To the grapevine meaning, like, listen to, like, what people say as well. It's all in your head, but listen to what people say too. it's such a mind fuck, right? It's such an abusive relationship, and I think beyond that whole like, the guy always does this to the girl. Like, there's this narrative in narrative in like wider like discourse when you talk about like gender inequality and the lived experiences of like both different genders, right? That like, you know, girls are always asked, or women are always asked to like be this but don't be too this, be that but don't be too that. It sort of like rides on that discourse. But here I think it brought it to a more like sort of like personal setting and talks about it in a relationship dynamic. So it's really fucked up, but you can hear all that in the song, like how she deals with it, and she's not submitting to it. She's angry. She's she feels like indignant, and that's the great thing about their song. She's singing about all this, but the way that the track is produced, the musicality and her delivery of the lyrics really like helps tell this story in a bigger picture that's beyond just the lyrics. It's like, I'm not happy about this, I'm angry about this is not okay. It's like, she's going crazy, and it's like this internal dialogue that we have, but sometimes because of how we think other people might perceive us, we filter ourselves, and like we don't express it, or even when we do, it's expressed in such a way that's submissive, or it's just not right. And I feel like she delivered this in a way that helps so many people like voice this out, to say this in a way that commands your attention, in a way that does this experience, this story like justice, and that's just one of that's a big reason why I love CHVRCHES. Now, the other songs that we will be checking out are not music videos. They're just songs, but nevertheless, right? They're great tracks. So let's delve into it. So this next track is called "Asking for a Friend," and it's beautiful. It's all from the same album, and we'll go a little bit deeper into the album later, but and the song as well. But let's check it out first.
I'm afraid to die. I'm no good at goodbyes. I can't apologize. And if I don't stop now, will it follow me down? I guess I have to try. It's the art of getting by. 'Cause I sunk some ships with selfish lips, and it all came back to me. I was terrified. I never told why. And the songs I wrote about hearts I broke would never come for free. I cheated and I lied, but I meant it when I cried. So what do you say when you lose your way? The past is in the past. It isn't meant to last. But if I can't let go, will you carry me home? Can we celebrate the end? I'm asking for a friend. Cause I fill my bed with afraid to die. The past is in the past. It isn't meant to last. But if I can't let go, will you carry me home? Can we celebrate the end? I'm asking for a friend.
This is such a beautiful track. Let it play finish. So I would like to know what you all thought about this song. So before we go into a deeper dive of what the song is about, let's go into the actual album first, because I feel like the whole piece of album comes with a theme. I mean, it does come with a theme, and as you get like background on the album, you will know like what the whole album is about. You get a bigger picture, and then we go into the songs, right? So Screen Violence is actually the fourth studio album by Churches, and Churches is a Scottish synth pop band. So they're very heavy on electronica, which I absolutely love. Absolutely. And they're Scottish. So far I think like they're one of my favorite groups that came out of Scotland, and there are a couple. So the album began in 2020 during the pandemic. So they recorded this during that time. And initially the album started out as something escapist, right? So it's meant to really take you away from the world, like from the reality here on Earth to a different plane, to a different place, mentally. And initially it felt freeing for them, but the lyrics ended up being very personal. I didn't. Oh, that's not easy to go through. And the album was developed due to the theme of violence on screen, by screens, and through screens, with songs addressing feelings of loneliness, disillusionment, and fear, among other emotions. So I think that Asking for a Friend is really a song about loneliness. And when we were going through the pandemic, for me personally, actually really, I actually really like that that time given to us for solitude and self-reflection. You know, because I feel like things are moving very fast. You know, in today's time, and I've been in that state of self-reflection for a very long time, but never really had um, the proper time to just really like focus on myself and to just like not worry about what's going on like anywhere else, and not have that FOMO, feel like I'm being left out, or like I'm just like, you know, like left behind, right? So when this came, it was a really good time for me to really take that opportunity to do this. But I feel like for a lot of people, COVID was very isolating, and it's not something very common for a lot of, like, that self isolation isn't common for a lot of people. It makes a lot of people very uncomfortable, and when you're in a state like that, usually your mind travels, your mind starts thinking a lot, and I think that's why people don't like it. And you can you really start getting into a state where you become very existential, right? Like, what am I doing here? What's my purpose on earth? Like, what's the meaning of existence? It can get quite heavy. I'm very comfortable with that, but a lot of people just can't. And I think that song, right, Asking for a Friend, is like the perfect song, talking about all that. The lyrics are so liberating because it talks about things that people usually don't want to talk about. It even talks about like cheating and just admitting that, and instead of like taking on like a blaming tone, right, it really talks about like the reality of how it makes a person feel, like even the person like cheating, right? Like, let's not talk about like blame, let's not talk about other people's emotions, because usually when we try to express those things to them, that all that comes into play. But this is so pure, it really comes from like that first person perspective. So yeah, so that's really what screen violence is all about. And Asking for a Friend, my suggestion, right, instead of me trying to sort of impose my own personal meaning on it, because it's very layered, it's very dense, I would suggest like googling up the lyrics and going through the song again to really like feel it and get it. So that's Asking for a Friend. We're gonna move on to Violent Delights now. It's also another one of my favorite tracks on the album. And I think here it talks about her relationship with the press, um, with the press, right? Um, what they sort of like write about her, how like the media, her relationship with the media, and how that relationship can be very damaging to people, especially artists who are more under the spotlight than anyone else. Um, and yeah, it really like invites a fathoming. It really invites a reckoning. So it's a beautiful track. The lyrics are heavy, but the way that it's delivered, combined with the instrumentals of the song, is next level. It's 100%.
second night, I dreamt you drunk. You couldn't fight. You were not fun. These violent delights keep creeping into my nights, and they're reading my rights. And I'll never sleep alone again. And these violent delights keep bleeding into the light, and I'll never be right. But they'll never sleep alone again when I'm photograph will steal your soul, and epitaph will make you whole. If I disappear, they'll say I killed myself. I never fear for my own health. And these violent delights keep creeping into my nights, and they're reading my rights. And I'll never sleep alone again. And these violent delights keep bleeding into the light, and I'll never be right. But they'll never sleep alone again when
This is the reason why I got Vampire on Spotify.
these violent delights keep creeping into my nights, and they're reading my rights. And I'll never sleep alone again. These violent delights keep bleeding into the light, and I'll never be right. And they'll never sleep alone again when
This is so fucking beautiful. I hope you all enjoyed that. It's personally one of my favorite songs from this album. I think that the theme of the song, that message really came through about like the relationship with the media. The day refers to them, but I think in this context, right, or in a wider context, it can refer to any group of people, like oppressors or bullies, right? Now, The final song is called Good Girls. It's a little bit more upbeat, but it still has dark undertones. And the song is really about gender inequality again, and it really talks about the expectations that society has put on women or girls, right? And it's a fight back towards that. I think it's beautifully written, beautifully composed, beautifully produced. So without further ado, let's get into Good Girls.
Killing your idols is a chore, and it's such a fucking bore, 'cause I don't need them anymore. So, maybe if you just got some guts, we kill them with 1,000 cuts, and say we did it out of love. So save your breath, give a little of what you have left. Do they know something I don't? Is it easier when you don't have to count to 10, when you don't have to pretend? I want to know that feeling. Is it easier when you don't have to start again, when you don't want to make amends? I want to know that feeling. Good girls don't cry, and good girls don't lie, and good girls justify, but I don't. Good girls don't die, and good girls stay alive, and good girls satisfy, but I won't. They tell me I'm hell-bent on revenge. I cut my teeth on weaker men. I won't apologize again.
Her cadence is amazing.
And I never
Her
had
delivery.
a taste for liars, or the uniquely uninspired, 'cause I don't need to be desired. Is it easier when you don't have to count to 10, when you don't have to pretend? I want to know that feeling. Is it easier when you don't have to start again, when you don't want to make amends? I want to know that feeling. Good girls don't cry, and good girls don't lie, and good girls justify, but I don't. Good girls don't die, and good girls stay alive, and good girls satisfy, but I won't. No, I won't. Killing your idols is a chore, and it's such a fucking bore, but we don't need them anymore. We don't need them anymore.
I feel like this is art. You know, like the music video isn't as elaborate when you compare it to music videos of like K-pop artists or artists from the East, like XG, right? But what they really did here was utilize visuals and techniques, even though they were, it was not an elaborate, crazy set, you know. But they utilize different sort of like cinema techniques to really draw emotions from viewers, you know. Colors chosen, the way that they edit the scenes, the cutting, the zooming in, the zooming out, the layering, the editing, the transitions, it all works to evoke a certain emotion when you watch it, and I think it matched perfectly with the song, and it made you feel what it wanted you to feel. So yeah, that's all for our reaction today to CHVRCHES. We will definitely be checking out this group a lot more. So if you like this, please give this a like and subscribe. It helps this channel keep growing, and it also motivates me to create more content for you all. And I appreciate, like, every single engagement counts, and I hope this left you thoughtful and a little bit more reflective of your situation, or a wider reality out there, helps you relate, and helps you become more appreciative of these unsung heroes out there. So yeah, have a good night, and I will see you in the next video.